When your cat follows you everywhere, do you actually know what they're trying to say? Yes, it feels sweet, maybe even a little funny, like you've got a tiny shadow that refuses to leave your side. But behind that simple closeness, there's something deeper that most people miss. It's one of the most emotionally loaded things your cat can do. And if you ignore it or brush it off, which most owners do, you might be missing signals that define how your cat sees you entirely. Let's start with what that constant following really means. Have you ever stood up, walked into another room, and your cat immediately gets up and follows you? Most people think it's about neediness or boredom, or that your cat just wants food. Here's what's actually happening. Your cat is making a decision over and over again. Cats are independent by nature. In the wild, following another being closely isn't something they do casually. Movement means risk, exposure, uncertainty. So when your cat chooses to follow you, it's not because they have to, it's because they feel safest when they're near you. That's the emotional reframe most people miss. You're not being followed because your cat is dependent. You're being followed because you've become their safe point in a constantly changing environment. Think about that for a second. Every time you stand up, your cat has two options: stay in a secure, known spot or move into uncertainty, and they choose you. What makes this even more meaningful is that this behavior isn't automatic. It's learned, built over time through repeated moments of safety. And by the way, if your cat ever follows you but then suddenly stops doing it completely, don't brush it off. We'll get to what that really means at the end, and it's something most owners wish they'd understood sooner. Have you ever noticed your cat doesn't just follow randomly? They seem to track where you are at all times. Most people assume cats don't really care where you are, that they're just doing their own thing. Here's what's actually happening. A 2019 study from Oregon State University found that cats form secure attachment bonds with their owners, similar to the way infants bond with caregivers. But what that actually means is this: your cat's presence regulates their emotional state. You are their anchor, so when you move, your cat tracks you, not out of curiosity, but out of emotional orientation. Animal cognition research shows that social animals monitor the position of those they trust most. It helps them stay grounded, safe, and aware, and your cat is doing that with you. Think about that for a second. You're not just someone in their environment, you're the reference point that helps them understand it. And here's where it gets even more powerful. Following you isn't just about being close, it's about staying connected. Your cat is saying, "Where you go matters to me." And that's a level of emotional awareness most people never expect from a cat. Have you ever felt your cat brush against your legs while following you? Most people think it's just affection or a random habit. Here's what's actually happening. Cats have scent glands in their cheeks, forehead, and sides. When they rub against you, they're leaving behind pheromones, chemical signals that say, "This is mine," but not in a possessive way, in a belonging way. Studies on domestic cats reveal that scent marking isn't just about territory, it's about identity. Cats use scent to define what is safe, familiar, and part of their inner circle. So when your cat follows you and rubs against you, they're not just greeting you, they're reinforcing a bond. They're blending your scent with theirs, creating a shared identity. Think about that for a second. To your cat, you don't just belong in their space, you belong with them. What makes this even more meaningful is that they keep renewing this bond, every follow, every brush, every quiet moment beside you. So the next time your cat follows you into another room and rubs against you, remember, they're not just being affectionate, they're making you family. And hey, if this makes sense to you, hit like and subscribe. It helps us reach more cat lovers who actually want to understand what their cat is really saying. Have you ever wondered why this behavior feels so instinctive, like your cat doesn't even think about it? Most people don't realize where it comes from. Here's what's actually happening. In the wild, kittens follow their mother everywhere, not because they want to, but because their survival depends on it. The mother is warmth, protection, food, safety. Losing sight of her could mean danger. Behavioral scientists have observed that this early life pattern doesn't disappear in domestic cats. It adapts. Instead of following their mother, your cat transfers that instinct onto you. You become that central figure, that source of safety. Think about that for a second. Your cat isn't just following you randomly, they're replaying one of the oldest survival behaviors they have, except now it's directed at you. And here's where it gets even more powerful. This means your presence doesn't just comfort them, it reassures something deep and primal inside them, something that was built long before they ever met you. So when your cat follows you from room to room, it's not just habit, it's instinct, redirected into trust.
Have you ever noticed your cat follows you, but not other people in the house? Most people assume cats treat everyone the same. Here's what's actually happening. Cats are selective with their social energy. They don't distribute trust evenly. Studies on feline social behavior show that cats form preference hierarchies, meaning they choose specific individuals for deeper bonding. And following behavior is one of the clearest signs of that preference. Your cat is choosing you, not randomly, not casually, intentionally. Think about that for a second. Out of everyone they interact with, you are the one they decide is worth tracking, staying near, and emotionally investing in. What makes this even more meaningful is that this choice is based on consistency. Your tone, your movements, your predictability. You became someone they can read, someone they don't have to guess. And that's rare for a cat. So when your cat follows you and ignores others, remember, that's not coincidence, that's selection. Now here's what most owners never realize. Have you ever noticed your cat following you even into unfamiliar or noisy places, places they would normally avoid? Most people think they just don't want to be alone, but here's what's actually happening. Following you requires your cat to lower their guard. Movement exposes them. New spaces bring unknowns. Sounds, smells, and shifting environments all increase risk, but they follow you anyway. Why? Because being with you feels safer than being alone, even when the environment isn't. Think about that for a second. Your cat is choosing connection over caution, and that goes against their natural instincts. Remember earlier when I said if your cat suddenly stops following you, don't ignore it? This is what I was talking about, because this behavior isn't small. It's built on trust, safety, and emotional security. And when it disappears, it means something has changed in how your cat feels. But when it's present, it means your cat sees you as worth the risk. That's not attachment, that's devotion. Have you ever realized one day your cat just doesn't follow you anymore? Most people don't notice it right away, or they assume the cat just grew out of it. Here's what's actually happening. When a cat stops following, it can signal a shift. Sometimes it's physical, pain, discomfort, or low energy. Other times it's emotional, stress, insecurity, or a break in routine. Behavioral changes like this are often early indicators, and this is where most owners get it wrong. They wait, they assume, they miss the signal. Think about that for a second. The same behavior that once meant trust and connection, its absence now means something needs attention. So the next time your cat doesn't follow you like they used to, don't ignore it. Observe, adjust, reconnect, because that quiet change might be your cat's only way of telling you something isn't right. So when your cat follows you everywhere, do you actually know what they're trying to say? It's not just curiosity, it's not just habit, it's trust, it's connection. It's a decision they keep making every single day. That's not simple behavior. That's your cat choosing you as their safe place in a world they're always evaluating. And that quiet, constant following, it was never small to them, and it shouldn't be small to you either.